Boys and girls, I'm here to announce something special. Today I want to announce the very first KOHLE Audio Kult mixing contest. You can download the multitracks of a very special, very unique extreme metal song. You can mix the song yourself. You can send back your mixes to me and win fantastic prizes worth thousands of dollars. Fantastic studio gear like Austrian audio microphones, like Austrian audio headphones, and EVO audio studio monitors. There's a list below. Really cool stuff. And when I say this is a special song, a unique song, I mean it. Because today I want to take you back into a different age, a different era of metal production. I want to take you back into the 90s, into the year 1997. To Long Island, New York, into a high-end studio. We're gonna mix a death metal song recorded in 1997. How cool is that? If you're into death metal, you love the 90s because, you know, everybody remembers the first wave of American death metal with bands like D-Side, Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Morbid Angel, Suffocation, and many others. So it's a song from that era, and it was recorded in a high-end studio in New York. It was recorded through a Neve console with expensive Neumann microphones, and it was recorded onto analog tape, a high-end Studer tape machine. We're gonna mix a song by a band called MALAMOR featuring Frank from Suffocation, and I'm sure that's gonna be a lot of fun. I have already done a little rough mix. I just spent some time with those tracks and it was so much fun. And you know, I didn't use any modern drum samples, anything like that. Here's my rough mix. Have a listen. This is a song that you can mix yourself.
Will you stop moving? Get you to stand still or die? You don't need to look to see you stand is what for you. Cut the day to be sure that you're alive. Kill the weeping of you little lies.
And what makes it so interesting is that productions were so different from what they are today. I mean, the gear, there's no better gear today than back then, you know. People are still using Neve EQs and Neve preamps and all that kind of stuff, and Neumann microphones. But all the rest is very different. There was probably no click, you know. There was no editing. There was no drum editing. There was no copy paste. You really had to play your shit. You had to rehearse with your band. And that makes this so interesting because you can hear that recordings from that era have a certain vibe, have a certain flow that you don't have on modern productions where you can cut out every single palm mute and move every drum hit. So on these old sessions, you can actually hear a band performing. You know, recording to analog tape means you cannot punch in, you cannot punch out. So you can tell that those guys went into the rehearsal room and rehearsed those songs so they could actually play them in the studio. I remember recording in 1997 myself in the studio as a musician. And you know, you couldn't even punch in. If you had a 5-minute song and there was no break in the guitars, you had to play for 5 minutes without a single mistake. So this makes it very different and gives it a very unique vibe, and I'm pretty sure you have never mixed anything like this. And this is how it works. Check the link below to ratemymix.com. You sign up there, you download the multitracks, mix the song, and upload your version of the song. Please remember that you can only upload one version, okay? You can't upload several versions. So take your time until you're happy with your mix and upload it. And then in a few weeks, it will be Warren Ewart and me and, buckle up, the legendary guitarist and producer James Murphy, who played in Testament, Death, Obituary, Cancer, Disincarnate, and many others. A death metal legend from the 90s. We will be the jury and we will pick the winners in another video on this channel. So make sure you download those tracks, make sure you have fun with them, come up with a great mix and send us that mix. You can do whatever you want with those tracks, of course, there's no limitations, but let me just ask you this. Try to preserve the integrity of those tracks, right? Don't start with drum replacing everything with whatever modern Toontrack samples or something. You know, those tracks have a certain spirit, so try to preserve that spirit and the integrity of those tracks. And my version, the rough mix you just heard, that was entirely done with the tracks that me and you have downloaded. So no alien samples, no drum libraries, nothing like that. So it would be great if you tried the same thing. All right, let's quickly have a look at the tracks. So this is what it looks like when you download the tracks. So up here in red, I have the drum tracks. Then we have 2 guitar tracks, 2 bass tracks, and 3 vocal tracks. That's also very different to these days, right? Where you have overdubs and millions of tracks and additional vocals and additional guitars everywhere. So this is very simple. This is very close. Well, this is actually the real thing. You know, 1 bassist, 2 guitarists, a drummer, and then we have 3 vocal tracks. So the only thing I've done, I have panned the room mics and the overheads and the guitars left, right. And this is what it sounds like. Oh, I love those tempo changes. So let's have a listen. Here we got the 2 guitars left and right. And they sound so 90s, right? The guys told me that they were recorded with a Crate transistor amp and the Crate 4x12. I gotta find out which speakers those are, but this sounds so transistor scoop 90s and so different from today's guitar tones. So this is, you know, a deep dive back into 90s guitar tones. Then we have the bass DI, which clearly already is compressed or somehow saturated. Maybe because of the tape, or maybe they were driving the pre's hard or using a compressor, I don't know. And then we have the bass amp. And this is the vocal track. The vocals were recorded with Neumann 87s, and they sound great.
Filled with fear, you tried to escape, but you've been betrayed from the ones that you trusted. The perfect repeat for your soul's condemned.
I wish everybody could send me tracks like this these days, honestly. And then we got the drums. Let's have a listen. Wait a minute. So here we got the overheads. We've got the room mics. Nice kick drum on the room mics. We got 2 kick mics because I assume he was playing, like back in the days, you were playing 2 real kicks and you were miking 2 real kicks, which is not the best idea, but sounds like this. And I actually had a hard time because one of the kick drums sounds really nice, this one. And the other one sounds like this. That wasn't easy to fix. You will have fun. Here's the snare. Tuning is a lot higher than it is typically is these days. You've got 3 toms that also need a lot of EQ, I guess. And that's a pretty simple arrangement, right? 12 tracks of drums, 2 guitars, 2 bass tracks, 3 vocals. And now it's up to you to do your magic and make those tracks sound amazing. I forgot to say that if you are already a member of my academy of KOHLE Audio Kult, you can also download the tracks there. Just log in to your KOHLE Audio Kult account and you will find the multi-tracks there as well. If you want to be a part of the contest, you gotta upload them at Rate My Mix though. All right, so I hope you will all download those tracks, and I'm really curious how your mixes will sound. Again, all the information below, all the fantastic prices below. Go to ratemymix.com and download those tracks, upload them once you're happy with your mix, and in a few weeks, James Murphy, Warren Hewitt, and me will be back on this channel and announce the winners and show you the coolest mixes. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed the video. Check out the other videos on this channel. Check out my academy, KOHLE Audio KULT. There's a link below if you want to learn something about recording, mixing, and mastering all kinds of metal. And if you want to join the best community out there. That's all for today. I see you in hell, motherfuckers. I see you, my friends. Bye-bye.